Hi guys, welcome to another Mystery Monday. Today I'm trying something new that I've been thinking about for a long time. I'm calling this new series An Author Sandwich. And on today's video, I've got for you my baby girl, Ruth Ware. Hi, welcome. Today we have Ruth Ware in my author sandwich. What's an author sandwich? It's an idea that I've had for a long time, and I don't know if it's going to work out, so let's fly by the seats of our pants here. And by that I mean just follow me as I do. But I thought, how interesting would it be if I could review the first book an author has ever written and the most recent one, so last or latest, depending on the series. And in between, give you some tidbits, fun facts, talk about why I like the author so much, and give you some extra content about them. I don't know. Let me know if you like this idea or not. And I'm calling it a sandwich, like first and last, like the bread, and then my brain ideas and opinions in the middle. Hope it flies. If not, I don't know. So I was thinking, what kind of sandwich do I like the most? I love sandwiches on ciabatta bread, and Ruth Ware I adore. So my favorite bread for sandwiches and my favorite contemporary author. So this is going to be, Ruth Ware ciabatta sandwich. Or a ciabatta ware, I don't know. Just fly with me here. Let's just say that if my Ruth Ware was a sandwich, it would definitely be on ciabatta. Okay? What is your favorite bread for sandwich? Anywho, so let's start. I think that would be very interesting. I'm almost done reading all of Ruth Ware books. But there are some authors that I'm thinking in the future to do this series with. They have too many books and I just don't want to have a long video reviewing all over the books. So I figure the first and the last one would be a good place, and then I can review the other books as they go. My reviews are always up on my Goodreads. The first book Ruth Ware ever wrote as a thriller author was In a Dark, Dark Wood in 2015. This book is about Nora and Claire and a bunch of other people, but it's such an interesting concept. So Nora and Claire used to be best friends and they haven't seen each other for over 10 years. However, out of the blue, Claire receives an email inviting people, herself, to a hen party. That's like a bachelorette party that Claire's current best friend is throwing for her as she's getting married. The kicker is Claire was not invited for the wedding. She didn't know, Nora was not invited for the wedding. She didn't know Claire was getting married, and all of a sudden she's being invited and she thinks it's fishy, but she's not sure. She's curious, she's conflicted. She talks to her best friend Nina, who's also invited, and they make a pact that if one goes, the other goes. So there she goes. And this bachelorette party is taking place over a weekend in a very isolated house. Oh, that's something they both have in common. Interesting. In a very isolated house in the middle of a wood. And because it's winter, there's snow everywhere. And the house is very well described. It's very atmospheric. And I wish I had that cottage to go to. Honestly, I would live there all winter. And in this house, there's Claire and Nina. Flo is the one that invited them all. So there's Claire and Nina. And then two other friends who go to this house. Flo is really crazy off the bat. She is obsessed with making this a great weekend for Claire, to at the cost of the guests, because there are times when they don't feel very comfortable, and once they are there they keep wondering, why the hell am I still here? But then once they're there, they can't just really go anywhere. And I find that and that in itself helped build the atmosphere, because like our narrator, she doesn't want to be there, so it helps adds to the isolated, claustrophobic feel of it all. We get to know everything that happened through two timelines. They are both narrated by Nora. But first we start off the book with her in a hospital, like just really escaping, running through the woods, and then waking up in a hospital with no memory whatsoever of what happened as the cops ask her what's going on. So she's just there, and she basically overhears and finds out that someone is dead, but she cannot remember who died, if she knows who killed them, and exactly what happened. So this is alternated, the present tense with the past. So as Nora recovers her memory, we find out everything that happened leading up to the moment that she ended up in the hospital. So I thought that it was like a very interesting dynamic. I really enjoyed the narrating style. That's one of the things that I love about Ruth Ware. You start reading her book and you simply can't put it down. And another thing that I really love is all the characters in here. Even the unlikable characters are so well developed. If you really are character heavy or focused, but you like Ruth is my girl. She does this, really well. So I think first and foremost, I really enjoy the characters in the book. They were so well drawn and they really leaped off the page. And I think this is definitely one of Ruth Ware's strengths, is her characterization and character development. And I love how she really plays fair. And this was clear from the get-go, from her debut novel. This is a girl that plays fair. And I really appreciate how every hint was in there. It's just a matter, did you see it or did you just brush it off like a crumb? But it's there. Once you know the ending, you just go, oh, that moment. Yes, they all made sense, whether you saw them or not. And some people might call this book predictable, but you know what? As long as it's well written, I have nothing against predictability, because it just means that the author did what I like the most, which is to play fair, right? And this is definitely something that doesn't bother me. It's something that I seek. The weakness and motivation of the killer on this book, I thought it was like, wow, holy, okay, person, okay, I hear you. I don't agree with you at all, but it makes you go, how many people like there are there in the world? You just don't know, right? But I really appreciated it. I was like, oh, nice, real wickedness. And weakness, wicked. It is like, it makes you wonder that legit, real life, possible people can be that wicked. I hope most of them aren't, but you know what I mean? It's like, I really appreciate it. I was like, oh, nice. Another thing is like the atmosphere. Like I said, it was a combination of people, and also how everyone in that party was so neurotic. It's like, I don't know, I would have turned around and left. I don't know how these people stayed there, but their interaction and their personality, it really helped build the sense of dread. And I just kept screaming in the book, just leave, run. Ugh. Talk about an uncomfortable weekend. Like, even if it didn't add in strategy, just being there would be a strategy in itself. There are some things though that I gave it a pass because it was a first novel, but let's just say that the police procedure could have been better depicted. There's some things that it makes me like, okay, so you're telling me that the cops didn't see that. but someone without training did. I don't know. That's the only thing that I would put it down. But I keep in mind this is a debut novel, and it was just fantastic. Pick it up, read. Actually, buy all of her books and read. That's it. Amazing debut novel, debut, first novel. Amazing first novel by an amazing author. She became my favorite like instantaneously. If you saw my first Mystery Monday video, you know that. So I'll stop just raving about this and give you my mustaches. Keep in mind this is a first novel. So for enjoyability, I gave a 9. I felt that it was just a tad too long. But you know, I still read it in one sitting. It's just I wanted to know if I was right. Characterization. Characters I gave an 8. Only because I appreciated most of the characters in here. But there's some, especially the cops, that I felt could be better developed. But again, this was a first novel. For ambience, a 9. I was there. I really, really enjoyed it. Fairness, 10. And this is, I think I can already foresee across the board. Every Ruth Ware books is going to be a 10 for fairness, because I even seen her in interviews. That's something that she really praises and values. So for the plot, I gave it an 8. And execution, I gave it a 8 as well. There were like some plot holes, but overall was very interesting, very exciting, and is definitely going to be a reread for me. So in total, In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware gets for me 4.33 mustaches. And read it. I do recommend it. Next, as my other slice of bread, I have the most recent book by Ruth Ware, One by One. I've seen some mixed reviews of this book around. I think, like most, I'm not going to apologize for loving this woman. Okay, and it's one of those, she's an auto-buy. Every book she releases, I'll read, and I know I'll enjoy. Everyone brings something different to the table, but I can see how some people might not like it. Do I understand it? No, but I respect people's opinion. I just think they're crazy. However, taste. Like fingerprints, everyone has their own, correct? That's it. But I really enjoyed One by One. It was another like a read that I started reading on Christmas Eve. I was done with it on Boxing Day only because I was out of the house by most of the Christmas day. But I would consider if it was a regular weekend, this would have been like a one-sitting read as well. It is amazing. So basically what happened, they have this very techy startup company. And there's something really big happening with them. So they go on a retreat to this chalet in the Alps. On a weekend, there are supposed to be discussions about the future of the company, about some bonding and things like that. There's a lot of conflict. Basically, there are the two people with the most shares of the company. They want different things. And there's people with less shares. So basically, this weekend is for those two people to sell their point to get enough voting power to do what they want. So someone is going to end up winning in this. This book is narrated by two people. You have the woman running the chalet, and we have one of the party. I really enjoy this because it was a really great contrast between the generation styles, because one person is, you know, just telling you what she sees from the outside, and the other one is giving you like inside information, not only to her own thoughts, but to the company itself, because she is involved in what it is. And even the characters themselves, they are very different. So one character is a bit of a recluse, but very, very perceptive. And the other character is a bit awkward, and it seems like she has a really hard time picking up on social clues. So you get to see like sometimes the same thing from these two different lenses. And then we have one of the narrators that feels like she's not in control at all, and the other one is as calm, cool, and collected as they come. Then another opposite perspective you get is one of them, like they both have their like demons, let's say, but one is very aware of where she is in life and how her choices led to where she is now, because the choices she made had consequences, and she is very aware and accepting of that. And the other one is just basically the ultimate victim. So to have the same story or the same actions narrated by two different people, they are such opposites, was really fascinating for me. And again, one thing that Ruth Ware does really well is characters. So I was here for all of the characters, and she makes some unlikable characters like no one. And there's people in here that I just wanted to slap on the face and say, no, not time out. You know what I mean? Go to the corner person. Another thing too, in relation to characters, is like most of them, especially the higher ups in the company, they are very entitled people. So Ruth didn't shy away from like just really exposing the entitlement in these people. And it makes you really not like them. And they were immoral, they were entitled, they were self-centered. And it was so really interesting to see that two people, they are exactly like that, find themselves on the two opposite ends of what they want for the company. And they're fighting and trying to one-up each other. And it was like, yes, girl, I'm here for that. To see, you know, the lions against the lions, and you sitting here eating your popcorn. It's like just laughing, you know, for once their life is not so easy and one of them is gonna lose. So another thing that I really enjoyed about this book was the fact that I've never been skiing, I haven't been to the Alps, I haven't been on Chalet, and the way she describes things and the actions and things like that, it didn't make me feel excluded or alienated from the book. I could follow everything because her description was just superb. There was a couple of like skiing terms that I had to Google, but it could have been a language thing as well. But I really enjoyed that in the atmosphere. Oh, and by the way, so something happens and there's a big avalanche. So of course, these people that are in there are stuck. And someone dies and someone killed. Isolated mystery, again, a favorite trope of mine. So they fight for their lives, and then when they know, they start finding, you know, people dying one by one. And they don't know who's next, who's killed them. They turn on each other. The paranoia breeds, and there's literally nowhere they can go. Because some are injured. The closest help is like miles and miles away uphill. You have to wait for the avalanche to be done. It's like claustrophobic. Like, can you imagine being locked down somewhere and then knowing that people are picking like your party one by one? Someone is gonna die. You don't know who's killing, so you might as well be the next victim. That was scary, but in a thrilling kind of way. Like, I wasn't like scared, but I really enjoyed that. I was down for that. I was there. Another one of her superpowers is her ability to just draw characters so well. They are also human. They are so multidimensional. They are people that you've seen in real life, and there are people that you understand. And each character is their own person. And you can see how well drawn they are by realizing how consistent each one of their choices are. All the characters from beginning to end stay true to themselves. And you know they stay true to themselves because Ruth does an amazing job in letting you meet these characters and really getting to know them and have like a clear picture. All her characters always leap from the page. Another thing that she did very well in this one is, like, I know it's a cause of controversy. Some people didn't like how long she spent explaining the company and the startup, but I really enjoyed this because I think she did a really good job. I felt like the company and the app that she imagined should be real. It felt real. I was there for that. And in fact, I'm actually sad that it isn't. So basically, this startup is about like a Spotify-like company that you can go on your music app, and you can follow people or be followed by people, and you can listen in real time to whatever they listen. So let's say I follow Ruth Ware and I decide to turn on my app and check her out right now. If she's listening to any songs, whatever she's listening to, I listen to at the same time as she does. So I won't listen to the song from the beginning. If she's in the middle of it, it will be right there. So there's that connection. Or let's say you really miss your mom because you live far away from them, or your husband or your kid, and then you can just connect with each other and log in at the same time, and you can both be listening to the exact same thing at the exact same time. That's like a great idea. Someone needs to make, well, Ruth Ware should copyright this, and someone needs to put this idea to life. But I really enjoyed it, and she did a really good job explaining that without being preachy, in my opinion. And I say really a lot of times, so sorry if this was a drinking game, you would be drunk by now. I have to work on my language. I will say that I really appreciated this book. It's like a lot of people that read like as a literature mysteries or mysteries, thrillers in a sense, they are here for the whodunit. And I get it. Like, I knew who the killer was, I think, from like the first chapters. But Ruth Ware's books are not necessarily about who done it, but it is also a how done it. So she's very organic. So she doesn't drag the revelation longer than it needs to. So let's say midway through the book, she feels that is an organic place to reveal who is killing people, she'll do that. But for me, that doesn't take away from the book. I really enjoyed it because she still keeps your interest to the end, because now you want to know how they did it and why they did it and their motivations and what else can they do. So it doesn't necessarily end with the big revelation of who the murderer is, and in this book definitely it didn't, but the book became even more and more interesting as it went. So I would just preface it by saying that if you want just a whodunit and want a a denouement and be told who the culprit is only on the last chapter, you're not going to find it here. But this is a beautiful whodunit and a howdunit, and it is very organic in its revelations. These are my 2 cents. To sum up, I feel like I've already been talking too long about this book, and I don't even know if you have an idea of what it is. But the one thing that I did not like about this book, and this was reflected in my plot and execution scoring, was that I feel there was a very big missed opportunity for mixed media on this book. I wish that the book had some maybe alternating newspaper entry. There is 2 newspaper entries, but that there was more of that, and that there was maybe like a podcast kind of entry as well. I think that would have been amazing. And more than anything, I wish that there had been like a playlist that had been like that Ruth had made, even if it's on Spotify. Like, she could have made a collab with Spotify, created a playlist, so each chapter when a song is played, because you will know. Let me see if I can find. So every chapter will start like this. It tells you who's narrating it. So this is a list chapter, and it will say what her Snoop ID, because Snoop is the name of the app. So it's Unknown 101, and then what she's listening to. So she's listening to James Blunt, You're Beautiful. She has 0 snoopers, 0 snoopcribers. But for example, that on this chapter, You're Beautiful by James Blunt is what the character is listening to. So it would be great if we had like a companion playlist. You can still do it. And next time I read this book, I'll definitely be listening to the song they're listening to as I read each chapter. But it would be great if this had been like a collab with Spotify and we had a list, a next level. I mean, I'm not really going to fault the girl for not doing this, but I think this would have taken this book to, you know, the next level. That being said, I adored this book. So for enjoyability, characters, ambiance, and fairness, I rated a 10. And for plot and execution, I rated a 9 each, which brings One by One by Ruth Ware to a total of 4.83 mustaches. Okay, so that was my review of 2 books. If you're ready for the feeling, here I am. Here are my 2 cents. Ruth Ware is my absolute favorite new author. I don't know why. I watch interview this woman has if I have access. I am just drawn to her. Her style and mine jive so well. She is often compared to Agatha Christie. And I think even though Ruth Ware is a woman of her own, and I think that comparisons can be done, not to put someone down, but to bring them up. And this is exactly the way I will agree with that, because 2 things that my 2 favorite authors, one dead, one's alive, do very well is characters. She builds characters and makes characters like no one. You get to know the people she writes about. Same as Agatha did. It's like very character heavy, and the atmosphere is amazing. And you read this book and you just want from the beginning to finish. And every time I finish a Ruth Ware book, I'm just satisfied. And I know I'll read them again over and over and over. And every time I read them, I'll get something new. And this vibe, this warmness inside that I get from Ruth is the same one I get from Agatha Christie. And I think this is the way that both are compared. And Ruth has a really fun sense of humor that you see in some of her characters. And she doesn't shy away from drawing characters you love and characters you hate. And she does both very well. So atmosphere and characters are like the main reasons I like Ruth Ware. There's a very subjective reason I love her, is because I've seen her talk good things about Agatha Christie, and I just can't help it. I love someone who loves my girl. And everybody that praises Agatha Christie, I automatically, even if I don't like it, or try hard to like them, but I didn't have to try hard with Ruth Ware. So this is, you know, a reason I have to even have picked up her book to begin with. So I'm just saying, like, let's do this as a tangent one. It's not a reason why everybody loves her, but it's the first reason I had to even start loving her. Like, the way she writes, it, like I said, it meshes so well and jives so well with me. I can't put her book down. And you can see from beginning to end how she has a focus on playing fair, which is what I like the most. And it's like in mystery books. I don't like being duped. We've been there. We talked about this, and Ruth is guaranteed she will play fair every single time. I don't even have to worry about it. I can, like in good conscience, pick up her book and recommend them to you and say, all the hints will be there. You will not be duped. So those are the reasons why I love Ruth Ware so much. And not to mention herself, like, just watching an interview with her, she's like so sweet. Like, I don't want to fangirl anyone, but if I could choose anyone in the world, like any famous people in the world to be friends with, like Ruth would be like in my top 3. I wish she knew who I was. But anyway, and for fun facts, I just wanted to let you know, because you might not, as part of the salad in my sandwich, let's say Ruth Ware has a website. I'll link it down below. It's ruthware.com. And on the website, she has amazing free perks for us. So just for going on her website, you get a free murder mystery party plan that you can, you know, follow step by step and have a murder mystery dinner party with your friends. All of her events are there, and you can also see, and it's something that I really enjoy when an author does that on their official page, is she lists all of her books in foreign editions as well. So it's easy, for example, for me to know when a book has been released in Brazil. So I can include that in my, Portuguese video as well. But that's something that she does. I think her website is beautiful, is very well planned. And it offers a free book club that just by joining the book club, you get a short story that she wrote. We will be watching that follows 4 friends that go in a very dark and immersive escape room. Sounds good, right? Review to come, but it was like, wow. So just for signing up for her book club, which basically means you're going to be getting newsletter, you get this free ebook copy of her short story. And you also, like with every newsletter, she randomly selects a subscriber and gifts them a book. And you also get advanced warnings of all her live chats in case you want to join them and hop in there. Not to mention that all her, latest news. And as being part of the book club, if you're confused or you want to discuss, there is a spoiler-filled FAQ session as part of her book club, which I think is fantastic. And follow her on Twitter as well. She's always there. I don't know. I just recommend you to subscribe to her book club and check her website out. It is amazing, and if you are a fan of Ruth Ware like I am, you're definitely not going to regret this, in case it's something that I wish you knew before. So here I am as part of my author sandwich, letting you know she has an amazing website. You can go and sign up for a newsletter. ruthware.com, and it's downstairs. And by downstairs, I mean down below in my comment section. So let me know, do you like Ruth Ware? What's her favorite book? Did you like this idea for a series? Is there an author you wanted to, a thriller author that you want me to do a sandwich? I have a couple planned ahead, but I'm always open to ideas because I really think this will be a fun series to make. Let me know your comments, thoughts, opinions, critiques, and let's start this conversation. And that's it for another Mystery Monday, guys. Until next time, be the hummingbird.